On September 16, 2025, the International Energy Agency, also known as the IEA, released an important report about global oil and gas production. Let me explain what they discovered and why it matters. The IEA analyzed data from approximately 15,000 oil and gas fields worldwide. They found that these fields are losing their production capacity faster than before. Specifically, if no new investments are made to maintain these fields, global oil production would drop by 5.5 million barrels per day each year. For natural gas, the decline would be 270 billion cubic meters annually. To put this in perspective, these decline rates are much higher than in 2010. Back then, oil production was declining by 4 million barrels per day annually, and gas by 180 billion cubic meters. So we're seeing a 38% increase in oil decline rates and a 50% increase for gas. Why is this happening? There are three main reasons. First, the types of oil fields being developed have changed. Traditional oil fields, which are drilled on land, can produce oil steadily for 20 to 30 years. However, newer fields like shale oil wells start with high production but decline rapidly. In the first year alone, shale wells can lose about 35% of their production capacity. Deep ocean oil fields also have shorter lifespans due to technical challenges. Second, most current production comes from older, mature fields. In 2024, 80% of oil production and 90% of gas production came from fields that had already reached their peak output years ago. This means they're naturally declining. Third, when companies drill many wells close together, they interfere with each other. The newer wells don't produce as much because they're competing for the same oil and gas resources underground. This situation developed because oil prices were low from 2014 to 2020, staying below $50 per barrel. During this period, companies postponed or canceled large, long-term drilling projects that would take 5 to 10 years to develop. Instead, they focused on quicker projects like shale oil. Here's what makes this situation particularly important. The IEA found that 90% of current oil industry investment goes just to preventing production decline, not increasing it. To simply maintain today's production levels requires about $500 billion annually. Currently, the oil market has too much supply, and demand is only growing by about 700,000 barrels per day in 2025. However, this short-term surplus could mask a serious long-term problem. If investment slows down, oil and gas supplies could drop quickly, affecting energy security and causing price spikes. The key message is that maintaining our current energy supply requires constant, massive investment. Without it, production drops rapidly, which could create supply shortages and higher energy prices in the future.